Today, I'm going to share three strategies that can make you more successful and happier in 2026. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? And these are strategies that can support you with your health and weight loss goals, or really any other goals that you have, business, financial, anything that you are working towards. So here they are. And these are things that I use and really notice that they make a difference when I don't use them as much. I'm generally not as happy and or not as successful in reaching my goals. So here we are. And then I'm going to elaborate. Connect before you consume, eliminate decision fatigue, and celebrate your actions. So let's start with the first one. I have been saying this for years, and the more I stick to it, the more important it becomes to me and the more I want to do it. Connect before you consume. Connect with yourself before you start consuming news, emails, texts, like basically communication with the outside world, other than maybe your immediate circle, and social media. In other words, you get to decide how your day is going to go. Don't let the world tell you how it's going to go. Because generally, the minute you turn on the news or social media, you're going to have people telling you how you're supposed to be mad about this and sad about this or upset about this. And you may want, they may be right, but like connect with yourself first. What does that mean? What does that look like? I mean, it could be a few minutes or it could be hours. For me, basically, I just, other than checking like the weather, maybe putting a positive affirmation loop on my phone to listen to as I walk and work out, my goal is to stay off of my phone as long as possible in the morning. So connecting with yourself, connecting before you consume, can be as simple as saying some positive affirmations as you're first getting out of bed, asking yourself a positive question like, how good can it get today? Or how is it so easy to insert goal? How is it so easy to lose weight? How is it so easy to make money? And you can even break it down into something like, how is it so easy to get 10,000 steps every single day, whatever goal you're trying to hit? Um, so it could be something as simple as that. Um, it's choosing not to open up the news and social media and all of that. So I just find the quieter my morning is, the better. How the way I've been connecting before I consume is to get out of bed in the morning. Sometimes an alarm goes off, sometimes not. But either way, if the alarm's going off, it's to turn it off. I'm going to see something like a positive question. How good can it get today? And then I usually am listening to some type of a sleep meditation on my phone. My phone is away from my bed. So as I'm turning off that alarm, I might rewind and just listen to more of the sleep meditation, or I might go into I listen to this guy, Brian Scott, who has some really great like activations and affirmation loops. I generally listen to that in the background as I'm going about my day in the morning. So my brain is in that receptive theta state and I'm just soaking up all this good stuff. So I quickly feed my animals. I take Tyson out for a walk and then I bring him back in and I keep walking. And during this whole time, I haven't checked texts or any of that. I'm just listening, or maybe it's just my own thoughts, nature sounds, things like that. I try to not jump ahead and think, oh, how am I going to do this? I try to just be in a more receptive state. So I try to just listen, whether it's listen. And many times, even though I'm listening to these positive affirmations and things like that, and I'm out walking, it's generally still dark out. That is when I get the intuitive hits. That is when I get the inspiration. And I have a plan for every day. I have a list of things I want to do. But because I don't overschedule myself most of the time, when I get these intuitive hits about content I should create or things that I should do, I can listen and I can do those things. I can act on them. I can add them to as I come in for my walk, I think, oh, Yeah, let me add that because that's something I definitely want to do today, or I want to answer that question today on social media or on a, on a YouTube or something like that. So that is how I connect before I consume. And I have a rule that I can't do any scrolling until I've showered. And that includes not just scrolling social media. I try not to do much scrolling, but checking DMs or any of that stuff. No, I wait until I have walked, had my smart, sexy coffee, done my journaling, worked out, and showered. And then, if I want, I'll allow myself to check social media. But a lot of times, I'm like, oh, this feels so good. I'm just going to keep going and stay in that zone. So what I just find that the more I connect with myself before I consume everything else, my day goes better. I am more focused. I am more emotionally regulated. I am more productive. Obviously, there's days where we could get an early phone call or text or something that maybe throws us off our game, and that's okay. The more you do this, the easier it gets, and you're just in that better emotional state where you can respond instead of react, even to things that are challenging. Next one, eliminate decision fatigue. We have so many choices there. We are so bombarded with information and choices every single day, from what to watch, what to wear, what to do, what to listen to. And I mean, choices are fun for sure. What should I eat today? But our brain can get overwhelmed by all of this. And especially when there's something where you have very specific goals. For example, your health, we're going to use, health and fitness right now. The more you can eliminate some of those choices and just so that you can make the best choices. So for example, when it comes to meals, making sure that you have, whether it's, I mean, you could do meal prep where you have stuff ready to go, or simply knowing that you always have, I'm not too structured with meal prep, but I always make sure there's some protein that I can grab and go. I always make sure there's some produce that I can grab and go. Eliminating decision fatigue can be having a few go-to breakfast, luncheons, and dinners that you enjoy on repeat that help you meet your goals. They're delicious and satisfying and easy. And you don't have to think, oh, what should I make for dinner tonight? Maybe you have a plan for the week, or maybe you just know that you're going to have, I know that I'm going to have like some form of eggs for breakfast almost every single day. So I'm not thinking, what am I going to have for breakfast tomorrow? What am I doing for breakfast today? Like I already know. Sometimes it's whole eggs with some extra egg whites. Sometimes I throw in cottage cheese. Sometimes ground beef. But it's always eggs plus more protein. And then there's some veggies. Maybe it's my daily raw carrot, or some veggies or fruit. Always my daily raw carrot. Maybe I'll have a little fruit on the side. Maybe I'll stir some leftover veggies into the eggs. Whatever. It's simple. It's done. I know I'm going to have my smart, sexy coffee every single day. I don't have to decide what am I putting into my coffee today. I already know my collagen and creatine is going in there for better skin, nails, hair, brain, body, booty, all of the things. Eliminate decision fatigue. Lay out your workout clothes ahead of time so you don't have to think or talk yourself out of it. And then with this comes it turns into a discipline I think discipline is underrated. Discipline sounds like punishment, but discipline actually gives you freedom. This is just what you do, even on the days when you don't feel like it. And then last, celebrate your actions. Don't just celebrate the wins or hitting your goals, because sometimes that stuff is far off. But if you're taking the daily actions, if you know that walking this many steps a day, for me it's now 15,000, and maybe consuming this much protein is going to help you hit your health and weight loss goals, then celebrate taking those actions. Even if the number on the scale isn't moved, you know you're doing the right things. If you are building a business and you need to reach out to a certain number, maybe you're in sales and you know you need to reach out to a certain number of people every day, celebrate that, because there might be days where none of them are saying yes, but you're planting those seeds, and you need to celebrate the actions and keep doing the actions, because as I always say, it's the small things, it's the small actions done consistently that compound over time to yield amazing results. But if you're saying I can't celebrate until I've have the thing. I've made this much money, or I've lost the 25 pounds, or I've made the money to buy this big thing. Celebrate every day. Celebrate that you took those actions and that you are moving closer. And then celebrate every time you see evidence of your success. So again, celebrate those actions. Celebrate that the scale moved a little bit. Celebrate that you woke up feeling energized. Celebrate that you can feel some muscle growing. All of those things, these are all reasons to celebrate. So again, these three strategies that are going to make you more successful and happier. Connect before you consume, eliminate decision fatigue, and celebrate the actions. Because let's be happy every day. Let's feel successful every day. It feels so good to feel so good. You can love your body and your life at any age. I'm turning 60 this year, and I have never felt better. So thanks for being here. I will drop the link to my store in the caption. That's where you can find my journal, my cookbooks, my free tutorials like lose 5 pounds this month or my poolside planks tutorial, all of those things, and drop any questions in the comments. I am so glad you're here.